Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to EduTap and also welcome to the government scheme session that is currently going on. And today we are going to revise all the important agriculture schemes that we have done till now. So this is revision session 2. First we have done already. You can find the link in the description box, right? And in that we have covered all the schemes that we had previously done. Alright. So, before starting, could you please tell that if the audio and video it is fine so that we can move ahead? So, hi Pankaj, see PDF you will get in the Telegram channel and its link it is also in the description box and therein you can in fact find the PDF of all the government schemes that I've already taught you. Alright, so today not only the Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Ministry that we have done, but some other agriculture schemes also that I have taught you previously, and of that I even gave you the link in my last two sessions that we all are going to cover today. All right. So let's start. But before that, to our new audience, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and do join our Telegram channel to get the PDF of this lecture and every lecture that we provide here on YouTube. All right. So let's start with question number 1, and it asks which of the following feature is are correct about Atma scheme. So this is a recent scheme that we have done, right? And what is the concept here? So we are going to touch each and every scheme. You may find some answers to be easy, some too difficult, depending on your revision and your preparation. And what I have done, I have covered only one question from each scheme so that we can touch every scheme. And you in your hand, you have to cover all the schemes and all the important dimensions of it, right? So do tell me what is the answer of this question number 1, which I say that which of the following is the correct feature. So here are the 5 options that you are given, and until you are answering, one more thing I want here to tell is, see, what dimensions I have told you, you just have to understand them, because in examination it might happen that they are direct, but in some cases, as like in this, then you have to use some analytical approach. So this is, but still quite simple. If you know all the aspects, you can assume. So Nilesh, he says option number C, which is 1, 3, and 5. While Tarun, he says all, that is all of the above. So do we have any more? Alright, so till now to have given Nilesh and Tarun, see the correct answer over here is option number E, that is all of the above. Now let's understand, alright, so because this Atma, its full form itself is about agriculture technology management, right? So here in the first one is increased use of technology, information technology, so yes, this is correct. Now second is developing new public-private partnerships. So when we were studying about this, we understand, see this agency, it is going to implement all its aim or objective through some other organizations, right? It could be public, it could be private, it could be NGOs, right? So second statement is also correct. Now third is using NGOs to organize farmers. Yes, that is also correct. We are going to take help from them. Next is creating farmers advisory committee to improve feedback. So what is basically herein they're talking about one-to-one connection with the farmer, or you can say reaching the grassroots level. So how are we going to analyze that what is our approach correct or not? So we would be needing some feedback, right? That would make us more connected to the farmer, right? Or the farmer, he would feel more connected towards us if he can give feedback that how what is right and not. So that is why this is also correct. And lastly, about the bottom up planning procedure. What is bottom up planning? It basically means to have planning at each and every level, be it your at village level, at rural level, right, at your district level, state level. So bottom up planning means at every level. So therefore herein the answer is option number E, that is all of the above. I hope now this is clear to you all. Alright, now we will move ahead to question number 2, and I want more participation of the people because this is a revision session, so that herein we can look at how much do you remember or not. Alright. So here in the second question, it says the R in RKVY Raftar stands for. Now you must be confused that this is also R, this is also R, this is also R. So which R am I talking about? So let's look at the option and then you can easily guess what I'm talking about. Why I've included this chapter? So if you have seen our previous lecture also, one of the guy he commented that it was recently in examination, right? So why not to cover this? So herein Nilesh he comes up, he says option number C, that is rejuvenation. So is there any more who wants to guess? Anantya, he comes up, he says C. Hi Anantya. So yes, C, he says C, and the correct answer over here is yes, option number C, that is rejuvenation. So RK Viva is the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, and then Raftar was the remunerative approach for the agriculture and allied sector, right? Allied sector. Then we had rejuvenation. Rejuvenation, what did it mean? It mean the new energy, to fill the new energy in this particular sector. That was that, right? And then BL also said the right answer. That was rejuvenation. Manish and Tarun also said the right answer. Very good. Now let's move to question number 3, which is which of the following is not true about Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana? So you have following option. First, it is a center-sponsored scheme. Second, it promotes cluster-based conservation. Third is disseminated latest technology in organic farming. Fourth is this scheme was launched in 2016, and the last is PS certification is cluster based and not individual. PGS certification, this was the you can say participatory guarantee system, right? And in this you can get a certification for your land that it is organic, it produces organic stuff. So do tell. So BL, he says option number D, that the scheme was launched in 2016. Anant says C, disseminate latest technology, which he wrote by mistake. Anant says D. So Mani says D, and Anant says it's 2015. Okay, Nilesh says D, and yes, the correct answer is option number D, that is 2016, because this scheme it was launched in 2015. All right. I thought most of you may get confused with option number E, which is the certification is cluster based and not individual. But this answer it is correct, and I am glad that you did not get confused in this. And then Tarun and Arjun also said the right answer, that was D, because here in C, when we were talking about participatory guarantee scheme, we studied about the sub scheme also, and there was cluster based certification that we studied about. So there should not be less than 5 members to avail or you can say to apply for the PGA certification. All right, so there should be 5 or more members than that. So that is the correct option. Now let's move to question number 4, and it asks which of the following is the implementing agency of National Agriculture Market? So ENAM, that is the portal, right, that is there for all the APMCs and other buyers, sellers that are there in agriculture sector, so that they can connect and there is one nation, one market. So this is implemented by one of the following agency, that you have to tell me that which of the following is the correct option. Now Nilesh, he comes up, he says option number D, Agriculture Produce Market Committee, which he deleted. Anantya says D, Mani says D, BL says D, Nilesh says B, Tarun D. So see, the correct answer over here is option number B, that is Small Farmers Agribusiness Consortium. This we studied when we were studying about the schemes. It is APMC, this at Agriculture Produce Market Committee. It would be under, it would be you can say registered under ENAM, but it would not be the implementing agency. What is implementing agency? Which looks at which implement everything. So here in this small farmers agribusiness consortium, this helps to you can say encourage the small farmers to level up, and that is why this is the implementing agency under this. And there Nilesh and New Era also said the correct answer, and that's very good. Now let's move ahead and see what is question number 5. But I hope now you're getting it, that why similar options, when they are there you can get confused. So prepare accordingly. Now let's come to question number 5, and it says which of the following is the nodal ministry of PM Kisan Sampada Yojana? So here are the following option, and you have to tell me that for PM Kisan Sampada Yojana, which of the following is the correct answer. Alright, so herein, because this Kisan Sampada, it is to look after the post-harvest infrastructure, the much of the you can say focus would be on that, right? So here are the following options that you have to tell me that which is the nodal ministry, means this particular scheme it comes under which of, it functions under which of the ministry, right? So I'm waiting for the answers. and let's see who says the correct answer first. And so there's some YouTube network issue that I am seeing. If you're facing the same issue, could you please tell? Okay, so herein, okay, Ananta he says B, Mani says B, Nilesh says B, and Tarun says B. All right. So yes, the correct answer over here is option number B. That is Ministry of Food Processing Industry. Not every scheme that is related to in agriculture belongs to the agriculture and farmers welfare. That we have to understand, right? So herein, see the correct answer is option number B. Yes, very good. That is of food processing industry. Okay, Manish, you says everything okay. I guess there's some issue with my phone. So let's move ahead and look at question number 6. Now see, it comes, this is a pattern of your examination only. Therein you can get 5 options and then you have to select, you can get options like only 1, only 2, as you can see. Alright, so herein, it says which of the following is not true about the credit facility. Credit means the money, the loan or the money that you can borrow under PM formalization of micro food processing enterprises scheme. So this you have to tell. There are following options here that you can see. So the first one is capital at 45,000 per SHG member. Second is individual micro processing units credited capacity subsidy at 35% with a minimum ceiling of 10 lakh per unit. Third is 50 grant at a state and regional level for marketing and branding. 5 lakh will be given for preparing daily progress report, and then all the FPOs, SHGs, producer or the cooperative credit grant of 35% for capital investment. Alright. So you tell which of the following is the correct answer. So Nilesh says A, that is only 1. Or is it anyone else who would want to answer? So only Nilesh has commented. See, the correct answer over here, it is option number D. That is both 1 and 2. So this is how the examination, the question, it tricks you. Yes, of course, Nilesh is correct that it is not 45,000, but it is 40,000. That is true. But then, if we talk about the second option, the 10 lakh per unit, it is not the minimum ceiling, but it is the maximum ceiling. Alright, so that is why you should read all the options thoroughly and see herein it was correct that 35% subsidy will be given, credit subsidy, but it would be the maximum limit. Means the maximum a particular enterprise can get 10 lakh per unit, but minimum would be that minimum 10 lakh they will get, and maximum they can get any. Alright. So this is what you need to focus, and yes, the rest are correct. That 50% grant will be given at state and regional level, and that would be for the marketing and for the branding purpose, and then 5 lakh that will be given for the daily report, and the rest that you can see that 35% will be given to the enterprises as well. Alright. So I hope this is clear to you all that what was the confusion and why we need to look at the question properly. Now let's move ahead to next question, that is question number 7, and it asks, Union government has allocated rupees dash for Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana for the fiscal year 2021. See, do notice that this is for the fiscal year 2021-2022. Budget is going to be out soon in few months, and then you have to look at that whenever your exam is like, for example, your example of people who have air for this 30th January, they can go with this data, but the people who have exam after that, they should focus on that, right? So you should focus on the latest data that is available before your examination. Herein it is asked about that for fiscal year 21-22, what is the allocation of budget for Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, and you can see the 5 options that you have to tell which is the correct answer. So Nilesh, he says B, and then Tarun, he says B, option number B. Is there anyone else? Uh, Manish says B. I don't know why you all are saying B. It is option number A. That is 16 crore. Alright, for Fasal Bima, 16 crore has been allocated for 21-22. Alright. And for the next, we will look at whenever they would release. But for 21-22, it is 16,000 and not 17. Alright. So now let's move to question number 8, and it says which of the following statement regarding PM Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme is not true. So herein are the following options, and you have to tell that which of the following option is not correct about PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana. Samman means there was to give honor to the PM Kisan so that he does not have to spread his hands in front of anyone. So that is why uh, this scheme it was released, and you have to tell that which of the following it is not true about the particular scheme, and do comment fast so that we can move ahead with the scheme, we can move ahead with the next chapter, next question. So Nilesh says option number D, that under the scheme funds are not allocated but are sanctioned state wise. Tarun says E, that is none of the above, means he wants to say that every option is correct. Naveen says option number D. Uh, so, do we have any other? See, the correct answer over here is option number E, that is none of the above. See, the thing that you are saying about the direct benefit transfer, see, herein the particular this particular line that we have also discussed when we were learning about this particular scheme in the lecture. See herein, we'll go one by one, and Nilesh, I'll clear it out, alright? So see, first one is amount of 6,000 per year, that we all know, and that will be given in 3 installment, that is after every 4 months you'll get 2,000 each. Second is responsibility of who are the beneficiaries under this scheme. They will be the responsibility will be given to the state and the UT government. Third, it is a sector scheme. It means it is fully funded by the central government. Fourth one, now under the scheme, funds are not allocated but are sanctioned state-wise. What does it mean? It basically means that there is no particular budget allocation, that only this much budget. Because in that, if you release funds, then what will happen? There will be restriction that you have to go, or you have to do everything managed under that particular amount only, and that is why there is no particular budget allocation, but they are sanctioned state wise, means in some states there could be more farmers, while in some states there could be less farmers, right? And depending on their needs, so that is why herein the money, yes, the amount it is given direct to the bank account, that is a direct benefit transfer, but herein we are talking about the funds, how they are allocated, how they are distributed. So they are not distributed in general, but according to state wise, depending on the population of farmer over there. I hope now this is clear and there is no doubt. All right. So, if this clear, I'll move to the next question, which is question number 9, and it says, what is the launch year of integrated cold chain and value addition infrastructure scheme? So, sometimes you can have a straightforward question, that particular scheme, it is launched in which year, and herein we are asking about the integrated cold chain and value addition. So tell me what is the correct answer to this. So there are 5 options that you can see over here. The first one is 2008, then we have 2010, 2015, 18, and then 2020. So Nilesh, he says option number A, that is 2008. So Tarun says option number D, 2018, and any more? Money says option number D. See, the correct answer over here, it is option number A, that is 2008. The scheme was launched in 2008. Herein, we are focusing on the cold chain and value addition. Means value addition, in every step there is an increment, and herein we will also focus on the transport facilities. So that much of the what is cold chain, integrated cold chain, herein the temperature should be maintained low for the agriculture, to increase the shelf life of agriculture crops, and herein we are going to improve or enhance the capacity of transportation system, wherein we can use this technology, this cold chain technology, so that there is the thing, it remains for a longer time. So Hari Krishna also said the right answer of this one, that is 2008. Now let's move to the question number 10, and it says watershed development component, which is a component of PM Krishi Sinchai Yojana, comes under which ministry? So here in PM Krishi Sinchai Yojana, it has different components. All right. So in that there is one which is watershed development component, and it comes under which ministry, that you have to tell me. All right. So Nilesh, she says option number B, and do we have any more? Ravi says option number B, Tarun says A, and Naveen says B. See, the correct answer over here is Hari also says B, that yes, it is option number B, that is Ministry of Rural Development. Now, see, what is the thing? There are various, not only one ministry, but various ministries that are involved under this. So all these ministries that I have mentioned in the options, all they work, so but for the different components. Herein, we are talking about watershed development component. There is one department of land resource. Most of you know about this particular component from this department of land resource. That department of land resource, it functions for the watershed development component, and this department, it comes under this Ministry of Rural Development, and that is why herein, do not get confused if in the question in your examination you see Ministry of Rural Development and not Department of Land Resource. All right. So this we have done, that watershed belongs to this. Now, Ministry of Water Resource, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, herein we have two of the component. One is Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program. That this program, it is led by this particular ministry, and one more, that is Har Khet Ko Pani. All right. So Har Khet Ko Pani and AIBP, that is Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program, both are under Ministry of Water Resource. Next, of Watershed Development, which is one of the component, that is under Rural Development. And this Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, it takes care of more drop, per drop, more crop. All right. So that is per drop, more crop. So now one more thing, that you need not to get confused between Har Khet Ko Pani and Per Drop More Crop. Har Khet Ko Pani means that in every field the government will try to provide water for the irrigation facility. That is Har Khet Ko Pani. And herein Per Drop More Crop means that in every field wherever the water has been reached, now for every drop there should be more and more crop. Alright, the crop must flourish. So that is why herein Ministry of Rural Development is the correct answer, and I hope you have no query regarding this, and I can move forward. So now let's move to question number 11, and it says, which of the following feature is not true about in situ management of crop residue? Alright. So here in this in situ management of crop residue, it is a scheme, and you have to tell about its feature, that which of the following is not the correct feature for it. And I'm waiting for the answers so that we can move ahead. And herein, see, every scheme, it has certain features, right? And it can happen that you just have a quick reading of the options and you skip what is important, which particular point, that is, like for example, in the previous one of the previous question, the maximum and minimum cap, that you ignored, right? So you should focus on things like such. So here in Ravi, he comes up and he says option number D, that financial assistance at 60% of the cost is provided to the farmer on individual ownership basis. So is there any more, or shall I tell you the answer? See, so Nilesh, he also says option number D. So is there anyone else who wants to differ or wants to? Okay, so Tanuni comes up, he says option number E. So see, the correct answer over here, it is option number D. Yes, that financial assistance of 60%, because it's not 60, it is 50%. So what happens this in situ? In situ means on the field management of crop residue. Because, and people, if you're getting confused with this option number E, that is applicable in the states of Punjab, Haryana. Why this has been, this particular scheme, it is in these states because major problem of burning the stubble. What is stubble? Whatever waste portion that is left behind after you have harvested your crop, that is stubble. So because now in these states, due to the stubble burning, air pollution happens. That is why this scheme has been introduced in these areas, in which, because there are various, you can say there are various machines, tractors and such other machinery which are helpful for for cutting down that crop, and that you can use for biofuel purpose, that you can use for as mulching, that we've already studied in the classes, right? So herein, in these states, the focus is there so that they can utilize that stubble instead of just burning them down and adding to the air pollution. So if you want to purchase the tractor or whatever machinery that is there, then in those cases the government support is 50%, while if there is a company, there is an FP or an organization to them which rent the machineries to the farmers, in that case it was 80%. If you remember, if you have seen that video, if you have not, I will suggest you to go to the government schemes, therein you can find all the schemes that I'm teaching you now, that we are having revision on, right? And then we can move ahead. So this was question number 11. Now there is the next question, which is paragraph based. So I'll give you 1 minute to read this, and then we'll move ahead with the three questions that are based on these. All right. So I'm giving you time now. So read about it. I'm setting up the timer. All right. Time is about to get up. All right, so time is up. 1 minute is over, and I think most of you have now understood which of the following, which of the scheme that we are going to cover. And Nilesh and Ravi have already said the correct answer of the next question, and it is, what is the name of the scheme mentioned in the paragraph? So Nilesh and Ravi both said the correct answer, which is Pradhan Mantri Mandhan Yojana. All right. So yes, that is Kisan Mandhan Yojana that we have covered in the previous paragraph. Now, question number 2, it asks which of the following feature is true about PM Mandhan Yojana. All right. So there are the following options, and you have to tell that which of the following is true. All right. So Manish also said the correct answer of the previous question, I mean. So now let's move and tell correctly. Now Tarun, I guess he is answering for option number C. I don't know if that was of previous one or this one. So option number C for this 13 question, I suppose. So Tarun says C. If anyone else who wants to say. So Nilesh says option number B. Ravi says option number D. Tarun says C. All right. So see, yes, the correct answer over here, it is option number C. That is, spouses of SMS are also eligible. First of all, herein you have to look at what I asked out, which of the following is true. Till now, I was telling about, I was asking you which of the following statement is not true. In this, I have asked about which is true. Now, the first one, it is a center sponsored scheme. Yes, it started as a sector, but then it ended up being sponsored. Next is, all the farmers are eligible under this scheme. Why this statement? Oh, sorry, this is a sector. It's a sector scheme. Sorry, I tell otherwise. It is a sector scheme. Alright, so it is a sector scheme. The second is, all the farmers are eligible under this scheme. Why this statement is wrong? Because not all the farmers are eligible. Only the small and marginal farmers, they are farmers and marginal. All right. So only small and marginal farmers are eligible under this particular scheme, and not else. Third one is, spouses of SMFs are also eligible to join the scheme. Yes, they are also eligible if the male or women, he's a small or marginal farmer. So their spouses, they can also enroll themselves under this particular scheme. So I hope this doubt is clear that why this is the correct answer. Now let's move to question number 14, and this is a practical based question. So it asks that Sham was a small farmer who has enrolled under the PM. The news, a small farmer means he had land holding that was lesser than two, right? But then after 60 years, he was surviving on his pension. So after 60 years of age, whatever pension he was getting it under the scheme, he was surviving on that. One day he died. Alright, so now he has died. Now what will happen to the pension amount? So whatever pension will be there, what would happen to that? Think about it. There are five options and tell the correct answer. What is the correct answer to this particular option? Alright. So Nilesh, he says option number C. So let's see if anyone else wants to comment on this. See, the more you will participate, the more you will get to understand your mistakes. So don't just see, think about it, answer it. Ravi says option number B, full pension on his behalf. Tarun says option number C, that is 50% of the pension. So is there anyone else? I guess Manish. He says option number C. So yes, see the correct answer over here. It is option number C. That spouse nominee will receive 50% of the pension. All right. So second one, the first option which says the shall be entitled to continue depositing the money to get the see when the retirement age that is mentioned in the scheme it is 60 years, all right. So when this line it says after 60 years means he is already retired, so the nominee or the spouse he need not to deposit the money because now it is the time to get the return and not to deposit. Had the sham has died before 60 years of age, then in that case the spouse and nominee they had an option that they can continue with the deposition of the money. Second is spouse or nominee will receive full pension on his behalf. No, that is not correct because they will receive only 50% of the pension. Next is only the contribution will be returned with saving banks rate. That was we were studying about the exit option, right? So if you exit before 10 years under the scheme, since you have enrolled, from the time you have enrolled, then you will only get the saving bank rate of interest. And the last one is the corpus shall be credited back to the fund. It was in the case when the farmer, which is Sham in this case, he has also died, and also the nominee or the spouse who were there, they had also died. In only in those cases, the pension will be given, that would be credited back to the pension fund, and not in rest the cases. So I hope this is clear to you all. Now we'll move to question number 15. That is the last question of today, and it says which of the following key feature is not true about farmers produce organization. So herein about the farmer produce organization that you have to tell that which of the following is not the correct answer. All right. So I'm waiting for the answers and we can sum up after that. So herein you are given five options and you have to tell which is the right one. So basically here in the credit facilities or what the money will be given has been mentioned. So up to 18 lakhs per FPO for 3 years will be given by the government. Second is whatever matching equity means whatever 2,000 per farmer. Matching equity means whatever you are investing, the government will also invest, right? And then 2,000 per farmer, and there is also, but there is a limit to it because it's not like if you are adding lakhs to it, the government will also do the same because that would be loss for the farmer. So Nilesh says E, Rishabh says B, Ravi says E, Tarun says E. That is none of the above. C, no, but the correct answer over here is option number B because cap it is of 15 lakh and not the 10 lakh. I purposely added 10 lakh because most of you may get confused because in some of the schemes it has been 10 lakh. Specifically talk about PM formalization, right? So herein 15 lakh is the correct answer and that is why option number 2 it is not true for the farmers producer organization. So I hope you like today's session. That is all we have for today. This was a revision session and I hope these questions you find them from the examination level. So I have made that accordingly and now we are going to cover Ministry of Education. Alright, so you tell me that which schemes should I cover under the Ministry of Education, right? So for few weeks, that is 2 weeks, we'll cover that, and after that we'll move ahead with the other ministries. All right. So Nilesh.